He is the 56th governor of the Garden State, and Montreal currently hosting Governor Phil Murphy of New Jersey. Governor Murphy here is part of a significant economic mission, bringing a delegation of industry leaders and state representatives. They're on a 4-day visit trying to strengthen New Jersey, Canada ties and exploring opportunities in film, technology, and more. Governor Murphy, welcome to the program.
Elias, it's good to be with you. And let me just say, to quote Mr. Bon Jovi, we're halfway there.
We are halfway there. Hey, so how's the relationship with Bon Jovi? I know you've worked on some charity stuff in the past. And Quebec, I don't know if you know this. Did you know that Quebec, more than any state, territory on planet Earth, loves Bon Jovi? He's a superstar here.
We love him. He's actually, he and his wife, Dorothea, are among our closest friends. They're wonderful people, wonderful parents. They do an enormous amount for the community and philanthropy. And he's, of course, one of the world's biggest rock stars to boot.
Well, you know, we got lots of connections between Quebec, Canada, and New Jersey. Let's talk a little bit about that. You're in town. You're here. Why did Montreal make the list of the cities? You only have 4 days. So why did you say Montreal's got to be one of the cities? And what do you hope to get done here?
Yeah, Montreal, it's a no-brainer for us. So we've been in Ottawa, Toronto, and Montreal. There are lots of reasons, both general and very specific. The more specific reason is New Jersey is a big player in financial technology, or fintech. And there's a pretty important conference going on today, which I just gave the keynote address at. And the industry more broadly is very significant here. And then if you broaden the aperture to technology generally, sustainability, climate, then you add to that the personal ties, the memories, the shared values. Montreal is like a brother or sister to New Jersey. Canada more generally, it's our number one trading partner by far. So we are thrilled to be here, and we're having a great visit.
Well, how do you view the relationship between Canada and the U.S.? And, you know, it has been now, it seems, you know, almost 8 years now, where the tone from south of the border has changed a bit. There's a bit more of an America first. At times, that has meant that Canadian businesses have suffered. I know we've had our back and forth as a country. We did burn down the White House at one point, and we're really sorry about it. But how do you view what the right balance is on defending American interests and also being kind, nice, and reasonable with your number one trading partner and your best ally?
Yeah. So great question. And let me just say unequivocally, Canada is our closest and most important ally, period. I say that as a governor, a proud American, but I also say it as a former U.S. ambassador, in my case, to the Federal Republic of Germany. And in Germany, Canada was the existential partner for the United States. I've been to Afghanistan on three times. I've seen Canadian soldiers fighting side by side with American troops. The trade issues tend to get local, and God knows our country, since the dawn of the Trump era, has gotten a lot more fractured than it used to be, and probably more inward looking than any of us would like. But at the end of the day, I believe, again, not only is Canada our most important ally, it's our most important business partner, and we will ultimately land in the right place. I believe the following, Elias, with all my heart. You want your allies to be strong, because it's not just good for your allies, it's in our American cold-blooded self-interest. And that's the school that I come from.
We are with the governor of New Jersey. Phil Murphy is with us this morning. How do you prepare, Governor, for scenarios going forward for your state where you could be dealing with two very different administrations in Washington? That to me is a fascinating thing. As a governor, how do you prepare for November 7th or next January, when you might have to deal with very different administrations?
Yeah, I mean, we've lived this. I had a period of overlap of several years, actually, with the Trump administration, and we've had now several years with the Biden-Harris administration, and we've been able to figure it out with each. There's no question where my heart is. I'm a Joe Biden guy. He's one of the most consequential presidents in our nation's history. And I'm all in on Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And I'll do everything I can to help them win. But at the end of the day, I'm the governor of New Jersey, first and foremost. And I've got to figure it out. And it's complicated sometimes. We worked most closely with the Trump administration during the darkest days of the COVID pandemic early on in the spring of 2020. And I have to say, we had a very strong working relationship for those 3 very dire months where New Jersey was one of the hardest hit places on the planet. We'll figure it out. I know who I want to win. I'll do everything I can to see that happen. But I'm going to live with the consequences either way because I have no choice.
Back to the Canada-Quebec relations with your state. You know, Quebec especially deals with a lot of your neighboring states on electricity, a whole bunch of other issues, hydroelectricity, that kind of thing. How do you view Quebec specifically here as a partner? And, you know, what are the types of resources or talent or whatever it is where you say, hey, we need to strengthen these bonds, here how we can both benefit? I mean, what are some of the industries or resources you're particularly focused on?
So our very good Consul General, Robert Sanders, hosted a dinner last night, and I had the honor to sit beside Minister Chris Skeet, and we had this very conversation. So I think there's an enormous amount of opportunity. I mentioned fintech already. Energy, climate, sustainability, technology more broadly. All of those, in my humble opinion, notwithstanding the strength of the relationship already, and it is very strong, it can get stronger. You know, the phrase we've been using in our delegation, which is a big one, by the way, including 7 universities, is we want to build strength upon strength. Some economic missions, you go to places where New Jersey is either starting from scratch or from a low level, and you want to sort of get to the point where you're punching at your weight. With Quebec, with Ontario, with Canada more broadly, you're already at an enormously high, vibrant, deep relationship, but that doesn't mean you can't make it stronger and better. We're an innovation economy, so more often than not, that's going to be the space that we find common ground. So
you're making the hard sell for New Jersey to Quebecers. Can I just ask you, and you mentioned Christopher Skeet, who's been on the show many times, is he making the hard sell to you? We have a deal with New York State. We got the transmission lines going right to your neighbors. Is there a hard press from Quebec to say, hey, that transmission line, let's get it to New Jersey as well. Why don't you get on our really clean, green hydro?
Yeah. So we spoke about the transmission line, but I can't say that the minister was necessarily pitching that in a narrow sense, but he's an outstanding talent and salesperson. So the answer is absolutely yes. When you're on an economic mission like this and you have a counterpart like Minister Skeet, I'm pitching and he's pitching. And where you end up is finding common ground. And we spoke a lot about that. Where can we do stuff together where it's a 1 + 1 = 3? Jersey's better off, Quebec's better off, and the relationship at the same time gets deeper. And I think there's a lot of opportunity. Again, it's going to be, broadly speaking, sustainability, energy, climate, technology, fintech specifically. There's chances for win-win-wins across the board.
I know we have to wrap up in the 10 seconds we have left. Make us the hard pitch to come visit New Jersey as a tourist this fall.
Oh, it's an extraordinary state. My new phrase is, we're from Jersey, baby. We've got the world in a very small amount of geographic space. You could see beaches, mountains, cities, suburbs, rural farms, rock stars. We have it all.
He's from Jersey, baby. Governor Murphy, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks, Elias. Take care.
Bye-bye. That's Governor Phil Murphy of New Jersey.